Welcome to the Preflight Checklist. Today's checklist is about transparency in aircraft transactions. Selling an aircraft is always complex, but it should never be unclear. Every aircraft registered in the United States carries a public ownership history known as the chain of title. That record traces ownership from the date of manufacture to the present, documenting each transfer along the way. This transparency exists for a reason. Buyers and sellers must be able to confirm who owns the aircraft, who has authority to convey it, and how title moves from one party to the next. Problems arise when that clarity becomes less direct. These are the 5 things to understand about transparency in aircraft transactions. Number 1. The chain of title should be clear and continuous. Every transaction relies on a clean and traceable chain of ownership. In a straightforward sale, title passes directly from the seller to the buyer, and that relationship is reflected clearly in the aircraft purchase agreement and the FAA bill of sale. Buyers and sellers should always be able to identify who the current owner is and who is conveying the aircraft. Any ambiguity in that chain introduces unnecessary risk. Number 2. Brokers have a role, but it should be defined. Brokers can be involved in a transaction in many legitimate ways. They may represent a buyer or a seller, facilitate negotiations, or act under a disclosed power of attorney. The presence of a broker is not the issue. Clarity around the broker's role and compensation is what matters. When those elements are defined clearly at the outset, the transaction tends to move more smoothly. Number 3. Back-to-back transactions require full disclosure. In some transactions, title passes through an intermediary before reaching the final buyer. This is often referred to as a back-to-back transaction. In certain cases, this structure is appropriate, particularly when a dealer is openly acting as a principal and pricing is transparent. The structure itself is not the concern. The concern is whether all parties understand who is involved and how the transaction is being structured. Number 4. Misalignment often comes from hidden economics. When intermediary roles or compensation structures are not clearly disclosed, alignment can shift. Undisclosed spreads, hidden markups, or layered commission agreements can affect how value is distributed between buyer and seller. In those situations, one party may pay more or receive less than expected without fully understanding why. Transparency in pricing and compensation helps prevent these issues. Number 5. Transactions should be easy to explain. As a transaction moves towards closing, the structure should remain straightforward. All parties should be able to explain in plain language who is buying the aircraft, who is selling it, how title will transfer, and how each party is being compensated. If additional parties appear late in the process or the structure becomes difficult to explain, it is appropriate to pause and seek clarification. From our perspective, transparency is the foundation of a clean aircraft transaction. Complex deals can be structured clearly when roles, pricing, and responsibilities are disclosed from the beginning. When incentives are aligned and the structure is easy to understand, both buyers and sellers are better positioned to reach a fair outcome. If a transaction becomes difficult to explain, it is usually worth slowing down until it becomes clear again. This has been the Preflight Checklist.